details of your job every single time that you step out there, especially when you're on the road, right? It's always harder playing on the road, so you definitely have to be on your assignments, be where you're supposed to be, and you cannot hurt yourself, right? When you're going against a tough opponent, really good team, tough crowd, like you have to not hurt yourself, but you have to find ways to continue to help yourself and everybody playing together.
Going into the season, the league wanted to make emphasis on the tackles and the illegal formations. And when they came to you and they talked to you about it, what was the understanding of it? And, was it brought up that it could change week to week depending on which referee and crew you have?
No, with the penalties of lining up, right, we have to be better. We have to align right. It's clear with the rules of how we should line up, so we have to line up correctly, and that starts with us.
The different penalties and the illegal formation penalties that you all have occurred, as well as some of the leaks in allowing pressure to get to C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, we go to the drawing board and we fix it. We got to line up right, which I know we can do. We have to line up right, and we have to protect as best we can up front. There's 5 guys just working together, or if it's 6, 6 guys in particular, we all have to work well together, and we have to play relentless. We have to swarm up front, and we have to get the guys blocked.
DeMeco, from an officiating standpoint, they have analytics about everything. Some crews, they have stats about the tendencies. When you have any crew, how much information do you guys have available to you and to communicate to the players? Like, hey, these guys really have been calling a lot of holding, or maybe they call the false start or whatever.
Yeah, the analytics with the referees really doesn't matter to me. We teach playing the game the right way, and that's all that matters. When you step out on the field, you play the game the right way. However they call it, they call it. It really doesn't matter. I don't want players worried about how the refs call it. You have to go play your technique the right way, and that's the only thing that matters.
Throughout the year, it feels like the majority of the sacks that have gotten to CJ, even some like the pressures, have come on like stunts in games. How do you guys go about kind of trying to correct that? Because it doesn't feel like they're getting beat one-on-one. It feels like most of the time with the pressure and things of that nature, it's off of stunts. How do you guys go about improving the communication to make sure that can become mitigated?
Yeah, the communication and everything with the stunts, it starts up front with it. It starts with the coaches. Like, we have to make sure our guys understand it and make the proper calls, so all the guys are working together and see it the exact same way. And all guys are communicating, not relying on one person, but everybody communicating, working well together. And we know the issues there. We have to get it fixed. We can't allow the same things to continue to happen. All right, starting from coaches, players have to take ownership as well, and we have to get it fixed.
Do you have to practice with Laramie out of your practice him lining up? Or is he just supposed to know where he lines up?
Yeah, we know where the line. LT, he knows where to align, and we just have to do a better job of getting it done.
It's still early in the week, and they're playing a game tonight, but early impressions of the Jaguars, what they do well, some of the challenges they present?
Yeah, Jaguars would be a really, really good team to go against. I mean, with Doug Peterson, Super Bowl head coach, he knows offensive football. He knows how to deploy his guys in the proper way. They can be an explosive attack, especially downfield with the new guys that they've added. Always respect the running back ETN, just with the running game, also in the screen game. They do a really great job of executing on the screens. So we have to be dialed in. We get this one out, bad game, flushed out of our system, but we're excited to have a division opponent coming into our house and see how we respond.
With some of the success they had with some of their rushers against the tight ends when the tight ends were blocking, is that just, hey, that guy beat our guy that time, we got to be better next time? What kind of goes into using those guys as blockers in those situations against that type of player? Yeah,
when you have different protections that are called, you mix up the protection scheme. Sometimes you have tight ends, blocking the edge. Sometimes, they're chipping out. Sometimes they're single one-on-one. But you mix it up as much as possible, and our tight ends ended up one-on-one in a few matches, and they got us on a couple of the rushes. We had to be better and block it up, and we got to get rid of the football.
You and Matt and the defensive players have talked a little bit about the relationship between the rush and the coverage. Just how did you see that relationship kind of function yesterday?
For us, I thought we had good rush at times where we were around the quarterback, but we didn't finish as much as we needed to. The coverage piece was there. It was was a sloppy day on both ends. We had some really good rushes, and then the coverage wasn't right. We had good coverage, and then the rush didn't get the quarterback down. So I like the way our guys played. We just got to be able to finish around the quarterback better.
The second quarter and a little bit of the third, you only gave up 7 points, I believe. How do you guys go into challenging, not challenging, but channeling that throughout the majority of the game? Because you guys have moments where defense is playing really well, but they have other moments where it kind of falls apart. How do you guys go about just channeling it to breaking glass the entire game?
Yeah, it's a matter of guys really just dialed in, being on the details of their job. Like, we've had some really good moments, good stretches of football, and of course we want it all to look that way. But the other side, they make plays as well. So I'm not aloof to that. They have good players and they make plays, good scheme, good coaches, they make plays as well. And we have to I think we had some opportunities there to capitalize and get some plays in our favor, and we didn't. We missed a lot of opportunities that we had in that game, and that falls back on us.
In the NFL, they talk about the 24-hour rule, win or lose. How much is that an emphasis to the guys to use today as the last day and then turn this page?
The 24-hour rule is always in effect. Whether we win or lose, hey, you flush it and you move on. That has no bearing on our next opponent, so we move on and accept the next challenge that's in front of us.
Why do you think Sam Darnold was able to have this type of success that he had against you?
With the success that Darnold had, again, it goes back to, it was a lot of the plays were in the red zone where we dropped the guy in coverage on one play. We had good coverage. The rush wasn't good on another touchdown. We had opportunity to pick the ball off on one, so we're in position to make those plays. So I don't think it's not so much of what Sam Darnold did, but so much of what we didn't do with being in the right spot and actually making the plays. Like, we're on the receivers, right? But also we have to make plays. So just because you're there, it's not saying he made some good throws, but we have to challenge guys, be stickier, and we have to make plays when the ball is in the air.
Do you still have confidence in that this offensive line, with all the factors we've talked about, can still be effective and do what you need them to do?
Yeah, for sure. Our offensive line, they'll get it going. They'll do exactly what we need them to do. They had some really good reps in the game. Everybody likes to talk about the negative reps. We had a lot of good protection in the game where we completed a lot of deep passes in the middle of the field. We had a lot of explosive plays that were made, and we had really good protection. So I don't let a few bad plays dictate of who we are. I know who we are, and I know how our guys will respond. So I'm excited about our O-line and what's in front of them.
Coach, what does it say about your team that yesterday after that loss, everybody's in the locker room taking accountability? No one, they're not pointing the finger at anyone. Everyone is taking the blame.
That's what it's about. It's a team first mentality. That's what I want our team to be about. It's always about the team. So every guy has to man up and be accountable for everything that happened in the game. And I always tell a guy, it always starts with me. Right, from the outing, we didn't play well. So you want to blame anybody, blame me first and foremost, and we'll work as coaches to get it fixed.
I know the game script maybe changed your opportunity to do so, but what were you able to learn about the rushing attack and how Cam and JJ and some of those other guys were able to do this without Joe and without Damian in there?
Our rushing attack wasn't good enough on yesterday, and it's going to start with everybody collectively, wide receivers, O-line, everybody together, working together. It wasn't good enough.
How do you feel CJ kind of read Flores' defense? Obviously, you said, there were some plays where this one was explosive. How do you feel like he overall went about seeing just some of the disguises that Flores was throwing out?
I thought CJ did a solid job with all of the looks that they gave us. I thought he did a solid job of making the plays that he needed to make when he was hot. He hit his answers versus pressure. So we had thought Steph played a really good game for us. He made some clutch catches to keep us in on some of those drives and get us moving down the field. Nico, again, showed up. We need him to show up and made plays for us. So, our team hasn't changed. We had one loss. Our team hasn't changed. We still have playmakers. We still have a really good unit. We had a bad week. Now we flush that out and move on to the next one.
On the running game, do you have any hope that Joe and or Damian could return to practice and see if they might have a chance to give it a go this week?
We'll see where those guys are as the week goes on.
Coach, with the success that you all have, do you think that sometimes people don't realize that this is year 2, it's going to be some growing pains?
Now, for me, you take it 1 week at a time, right? It's 1 week at a time. And that's why I wanted to tell our guys last week. Everybody is, patting you on the back and congratulating you for being 2-0, and that meant nothing, right? It means nothing. It's 1 week at a time, and that's the same thing goes for this week. It doesn't matter what the record is. It's all about how you show up each and every week. Show up ready to play, execute when we need to execute, and the outcome will be different.
DeMeco, I know you don't like to look back, but you bounced back from the Jets loss last year. You won the next game, won 3 of the last 4. Was there something you, as the head coach, learned from that experience, or do you think it's something the players learned that they can still bounce back from the bad performance?
For one thing, I think that for myself, what I learned, I just tell the truth. Like, I just put the film up and I tell the truth so guys can actually see what happened and why we lost the game. And everybody would like to blame, one person or put it in one person, but I show everybody that it's not just one play, it's not just one person, it's not just one thing. It's a collection of a lot of different things that had to go bad for you to lose the game. Now it's all about each man owning up to it and fixing it the next week so the same thing doesn't happen again.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.